Yo, 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 welcome back, all you DPC rebels, resistant fighters. DrShane back with another Friday 5-minute magic tip. Hope you guys been having a great week. Looking forward to a great weekend. I want to get a little bit off topic this week. I want to take it into some healthcare politics. I know politics, boo, hiss, boo. But some things that are happening here in South Carolina that I wanted to share. This has happening across a lot of states in America as we wrestle with scope of practice issues in our states. Each state has to handle that in certain ways. There's been several bills, 5 or 6, that are coming due next year. So there was 2 days of testimony in South Carolina at the State House. In the Senate Medical Affairs Committee, about 8 hours of testimony. I was not there, but I was able to watch the testimony, one day live, one day recorded. So I was able to see the entire schedule of folks who came in and spoke and brought their testimony to the medical affairs. They were covering about 6 or 7 different bills. 3 of the bills were really hit home to primary care and direct primary care. Senate Bill S-44, which is a PA independent practice bill. Senate S-45, which is a nurse practitioner independence bill. And Senate Bill 669, which is a team-based care bill, which would make physicians the team lead and continue to require supervision of nurse practitioners and PAs. There were some other bills, including some pharmacist-specific bills and stuff that were talked about some as well. Just want to throw my thoughts out as I heard this and thinking about where we've come as DPC physicians in primary care, where we stand, and some of the experiences I've had with nurse practitioners and PAs. This probably be a multi-part series because it can take some time to get through a lot of this information. So I wanted to kind of get started right there on some of my thoughts that essentially primary care physicians, we've really stuck a knife in our own back. We've kind of done this to ourselves. We didn't take care of things and do the things we needed to do to honor our patients and our practice. And we only have ourselves to blame, to be honest, especially in South Carolina, where 83% of us in the physicians are employed. So there's not a lot of independent practice folks. We're doing what our administrators tell us to do all the time. So we've given up a lot of our power. The first big issue is, as one of my friends, the great Dr. Lassie in Holton, Kansas, likes to say, is primary care docs have given up a lot of medicine. We've quit a lot of the medicine that we've done and that we've learned in training. Just think over the last 20 or 30 years, primary care physicians have stopped practicing medicine in the hospitals. We've given up a lot of our pediatric side of practice. We've stopped doing OB. We quit doing a lot of procedures. We routinely refer out skin procedures and orthopedic procedures, joint injections and things. We stopped doing a lot of those. We turned to doing 8-minute visits as fast as we can, rushing. So we've lost a lot of the scope of practice that we learned as residents, and we only have ourselves to blame for that. We've turned ourselves, to use a medical word, we've become equivocal. So, we're kind of easy to copy. So we have kind of done that to ourselves. That was my first observation is when we stop doing a lot of the things that makes us physicians, it becomes a problem. The second big thing I've noticed was physicians were charged with supervising or providing oversight to NPs and nurse practitioners, and we've largely failed to do it correctly and do it appropriately. It seems there were a lot of testimony from a lot of nurse practitioners, PAs across the state, who repeatedly said they had zero oversight, that the only time they would ever speak to their supervising physician was the once a year they had to renew their paperwork for the board. They never contacted their supervising physician, had never been contacted by them. It was just basically a money exchange. And so you pay me a certain amount of money for you to practice medicine. And so it's very concerning that the supervising role has shifted to really just a money-making scheme, as they put it, for physicians to make extra money. In 2018 in South Carolina, there was nurse practitioners and PAs were pushing for independent practice, and there was a compromise made to expand some scope of their practice, but also to expand the number of PAs and nurse practitioners that physicians could oversee. This currently stands at 6 full-time equivalent nurse practitioner PAs, and it also removed the mileage barrier. It used to be like 45 or 60 miles you had to be within to supervise a nurse practitioner PA, and now that's gone away. I mean, you could supervise someone 400 miles away, or 4 hours, 5 hours away in the same state. So the supervising rules have gotten even more lax, and it just became a money-making scam for a lot of physicians to have a bunch of nurse practitioners and PAs working under license, but never do any oversight at all. And PAs and nurse practitioners are using this known fact as a hammer to show that supervision is not needed. That, number one, there's not a whole lot of contact at all, if any, with their supervising physicians, and the recent law changes separate the time and distance. So, what does supervising really mean? What does oversight really mean? And they feel like they're equal to physicians, and that the only thing keeping them from independent practice is having to have that piece of paper signed by a physician. So, in all, these two factors do not look real good to some senators sitting on a committee when they're hearing these talks about there's not a lot of oversight. They can do a lot of the same things that physicians are doing. The committee members that I saw, either they were not being truthful, or they generally did not have a good sense of the training differences between physicians and nurse practitioners and PAs. They were spending a lot of time educating themselves about that, but it looked really bad to have for physicians to not be supervising very well, but making money off of that process, and doing less and less medical care over the years. So it was not a very beneficial process for physicians. So what do we do now? So it really puts us in a bad light. They're using the light oversight as a hammer, basically, to say, well, we're not getting oversight now, so why do we need it? So where do we go from here? I want to chat a little bit about some thoughts about moving forward, about some things that could happen here in South Carolina, where we're going to move forward, nationally. Some things that I went and researched on about states who have been doing independent practice for decades already. What do their numbers look like? What do their physician numbers look like? What do their residency program numbers look like? So I did a little background check on that to see how independent practice for NPs and PAs affected those things. I want to share a little bit of that next week. But this is just the introduction on some things to think about as we move forward and continue to become better and better DPC physicians, hopefully swing back into the more independent practice so we can take care of patients better, take care of ourselves better, and offer more services to broaden our scope of practice to really help position patients uh, in a better way. I hope this is a little bit helpful, and I'd love to get back with you guys in about a week or so we can chat on this a little bit more. Till then, you guys